Sports coverage of the NFL playoffs brings us to the Pacific Northwest, the home of the 12s, and they are in full roar as you get a look inside Lumen Field. We'll decide the second entrant to next week's NFC title game as we've got a great one in store between the Arizona Cardinals and the Seattle Seahawks. Here come the Seahawks. Time for that offense and quarterback Russell Wilson to go to work.
All in all, he was pretty solid in the victory in the wild card round and threw a couple of touchdowns. And when it comes to quarterback play, you'd always love spectacular. But in the playoffs, you'll take solid. And that's exactly what they're looking for from him again in this contest.
On first down, Wilson. They'll run the screen with Carson. And bulldozing his way through. And he'll be out of bounds, but able to get it up past the 45. A good pickup there at 22.
I like the screen being called here early in the game, especially on the opening drive, because, Brandon, when guys come out of the locker room, especially as pass rushers, they are so amped up to get to the quarterback that you can use that against them, and a screen pass is a great way of doing it. A lot of teams against good pass rushing teams, they want to run the screen 10 to 12 times in a game.
Throwing on second down. Wilson. That's complete to DK Metcalf. And they're going to have another first down as the tackle's made here at the Cardinals' 40. From the gun, it's Wilson. And the catch is made here by Tyler Lockett. And they're able to get this one past the 30 to the 25-yard line. Back-to-back nice gains. That one for 14 yards and another first. First and 10. On first down, it's Carson. And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. Second and right at a yard. The last run got 9. That leaves him with second and a yard.
It's a gain of 9. Brings up second and a yard at the 16.
Here's Carson. And they corral him just a couple yards shy of the end zone.
That's another Seahawks.
They've taken this opening kickoff and marched it right down the field defensively. Not much resistance.
And that's the point, because my admiration is for the guys moving the ball right now. They know what they're doing. Their plan is working. But I flip it over and watch and say, okay, what are you going to do to change things up? Because if you don't, they're going to put that ball in the end zone real soon.
Looks like they quit hitting the snooze button on their alarm there. Finally a sign of life from this defense. They've been fairly passive on this opening drive. Now able to stand up on first and goal. And they sent that play backwards.
A first carry of the ball game for DJ Dallas. And he gets halfway home from the 4 down to the 2-yard line. A minimal gain there on the 8th play of the drive.
Brings up third and goal.
Here's Travis Homer, the former Miami Hurricane.
Travis Homer, the ball carrier.
Well, they hit him in the backfield, and he will not escape. And that is not going to get it done. Defense didn't budge on third down. Now, what are we going to see on fourth?
We're soon to find out, but does this feel like old school football or what, right?
Yeah.
It's an old-fashioned goal line stand. I know what I would call on offense. I would go for it. And I want some type of a play where my quarterback has a chance to run it or throw it. I don't just want one static play.
They stop him on 4th and goal at the 3. And on the opening drive of the ball game, the defense comes up with a goal line stand. Here's the first carry for Kenyon Drake. And he'll take this one up to about the 13. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3.
A nice run here early on. It doesn't take a great play caller to realize you want to establish a guy of his caliber who runs like this early, because they'll pay dividends as the game progresses.
Murray going to run play action with Drake and look to throw it. This one complete to Christian Kirk. And able to get it across the 20 before they get to him. In the wild card win last week, he had just 2 catches, and now he's got his first one here.
But one of the ways that quarterbacks keep all the receivers alive in a play, never lock in on any one guy. Make sure you keep your eyes moving, scan the field. And here he finds the open guy for a nice pickup.
And incomplete as he was knocked as he threw it. And it took the ball off course. The linebacker, Bobby Wagner, able to get back in coverage and knock it free. Now Murray off play action. And they'll go back to Hopkins, and this time he's got him. And he gets this to the other side of midfield across the 45 before going out. Give them 32 on the play.
We saw these guys have some big plays in their wild card win last week, and they're certainly going to need to continue to put up plays like we just saw there if they hope to continue to move on in these playoffs.
And he's going to get this down near the 30-yard line. 15 more there, and they're on a roll. It's another first down. Well, one unit I know you want to watch is that offensive line. If they keep clearing holes like that, it could be a long night defensively.
No doubt about it, because when they are in sync, as we're seeing so far, when that continuity is there and you can see that they're playing off of each other while controlling the defensive front linebackers, you're exactly right. It could be a very long night for the defense because someone's going to run for some big yardage.
28-yard line.
Play fake. Murray. That's going to be caught by Kirk. And he'll go out of bounds in the red zone just inside the 20. He had 2 catches in the wild card game, and he's matched that total in the first quarter here in this one. And a first down as well. Play action. Now it's Murray. Under pressure, and he'll go down. Sacked back at the 31. Blowing that play up was Henry Anderson. And it's never good to take a sack. You really don't want to take one down here in this part of the field down near the red zone.
Not at all, because you're already pretty much assured of a field goal. But you take a big sack, it could push you out of range, and that's why defenses get a little more aggressive in this situation. They're almost conceding the 3 points. They want to push you back and try and take you out of that.
Larry Fitzgerald was the intended target, but now it'll be third down.
It's third down.
From the gun, Murray. Just what Seattle was hoping for. The coverage holds, and now fourth down.
They really had a good drive going there, but a nice recovery by the defense his past few downs, able to knock that one away on third down and bring up what I think for the offense, an unexpected fourth down here.
Good. Makes the score Cardinals 3.
Not a touchdown, obviously, but playoffs, you're on the road. At least you put something on the board.
I would agree with that totally. You're not exactly sending a message to the opposition, but you are letting them know that you came to play.
And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback.
25-yard line.
Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. And on the last drive, they were in field goal range. They just opted not to kick it, didn't get it. How does that change the mentality this go around?
I don't think it changes much for the head coach because this is what he preaches all the time. Attack at all times in any spot on the field, and he likes touchdowns, not field goals. Now, your field goal kicker, you got to make sure you nurse him through and say, okay, don't worry about it. When we need you, you got to be ready to go. And the team, of course, loves to see points on the board. So let's see if it changes a little bit if they're in the same spot again.
Yeah, we'll see what the decision is here if they get to that spot. Here's a first down throw that's complete. And he takes this one down almost all the way to the 30. Good yardage after the catch. Is that play good for 30 and a first?
I don't think anyone would argue that having that extra week definitely helps come playoff time. And those were some fresh legs right there. That extra practice time and planning, certainly in evidence.
Carson the first down and more. And finally down at the 9-yard line. 23 yards on the pickup there and a first.
Would you say this offense is locked in right now?
They're having no trouble on this drive. What is it, 3 plays, 3 first downs?
Yeah, you talk about on the march. They keep this up, they'll get to that end zone real fast.
And it's intercepted at the goal line. Good positioning, and it's picked off.
This is pass intercepted by
Charles, not only is that an interception, it's one when you were really knocking on the door for a touchdown inside the red zone.
You're actually thinking points. No matter what, at worst, you're thinking kicking a field goal and getting 3. We might look back on this in the second half and say, you remember when they didn't get points on that drive? This could cost them.
Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up second and 11.
This defense is really flown around in the first half. They've gotten to the ball carrier before they can really get started. Offense got to come up with something else in order to try and get this running game going.
And this is caught. I think he got that with one hand. DeAndre Hopkins, he's all alone.
Murray.
Cardinals. DeAndre Hopkins, 84 yards. And the Cardinals are able to show off their quick strike ability. They talked about stringing together some explosive plays here in the playoffs. That was a pretty explosive play.
It certainly was. And if you're going to win on the road, it certainly helps to have big playability in your hip pocket, doesn't it?
Gonzalez able to tack on the PAT. And the lead grows to 10-0.
Zane Gonzalez to kick.
Now after the touchdown, here's Gonzalez on to kick it away. And tackled at the 21-yard line, so a net negative there of 4 yards.
The Seahawks take over 1st and 10.
So out now comes the offense back onto the field. And you work so hard during the regular season to earn that bye to go to the divisional round fresh. Well, maybe they're too fresh because they've come out here pretty flat.
And how many times have we seen it? Let's go to other sports now. Let's go to basketball, baseball, those ones where the playoffs are a series. And you see teams who were playing before versus the team that had the bye, and they take them on. And how many often does that team that had been playing before win game one?
Right.
Almost always, right? Feels that way anyway. But it's a one-shot deal like the NFL.
Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked up by the linebacker, Jordan Hicks. And he's going to return it to the 21-yard line. Second straight drive now here, Charles, that have ended with an interception.
And I just wonder, because I don't think it's going to rattle him necessarily, but I also wonder if it's going to nerve him a little bit. Does it lead to another one? Or does he find a way to pull it together and become sharp again?
And he was hit as he threw it there, and it forces it incomplete.
21-yard line.
They fake the handoff. Now Murray. Open man is Kirk, complete. And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Arizona. From 21 yards away. And the Cardinals will extend their lead. And on that one, able to catch it, also able to have the wherewithal to take it in for the score.
And how about the phases of a successful catch and a completion of a play? Look the ball in, secure the catch, and then, of course, the run after the catch that ends up in the end zone.
Gonzalez good on the extra point, and that makes our score 17-0.
Zane Gonzalez to kick off for Arizona.
Now after the touchdown, here's Gonzalez on to kick it away. Here comes Philip Dorsett now to return it. And the tackle going to be made right there at the 25-yard line.
At their own 25-yard line.
Chris Carson trotting back out there. He's been good. They've utilized him well, but they're losing here in the second quarter. What might they change offensively?
I think that what you try and do is expand how you get the ball to him a little bit. Get him out in open space, maybe swing the ball to him. What's that they used to call it in the West Coast offense, the long handoff? Yeah. Serve as your running play that way, as well as continue to feed him the football. Some of these runs now may pop bigger later in the game because of the effects of running it. Sometimes people, after a while, they don't want to tackle him anymore, or they get tired, or they get out of position, or he runs through tackles. Continue to feed him the ball. He's having that kind of game.
Yeah, might they get him the ball in some space in some different ways here. He finds his man, the tight end Olsen. And he'll be a couple yards shy of the 20 at the 18. 3 yards the gain there, second down.
Second down at the 18-yard line.
From the shotgun, Wilson. And to the tight end Olsen, right side.
Wilson
will wind up getting 10 back as that sets him up for third down.
A gain of 10.
Brandon, they didn't get everything they wanted out of that play, but the tight end did. And I don't mean it in a positive way. Great job of him holding on after absorbing that big hit.
On third down, Wilson. And he will not be able to hang on through the contact. It's incomplete. The coverage strong, and now it's fourth down.
Well, they certainly did a nice job there, picking him up out of the backfield and then running stride for stride with him. That's good coverage, and it led to an incompletion.
Now it's Peterson. Just a 2-yard return there following a punt of 48. And the Cards will take over, 1st and 10. Here's the Arizona offense now as they get set to take over. They are clicking on all cylinders. They seem to be just scoring at will right now, and that's why they've opened up this big lead.
And now we always talk about getting into the zone, and all athletes are seeking that, aren't they? Where everything is working for them, every move they make works, it clicks, and they are on point right now.
Yeah, they are in that zone that you're talking about. And he'll be upended at the 33 following a gain of 3. And guess what? It brings up third down. Pretty good job defensively. Thought he was going to get it, but they knew where that marker was, and they stopped him just short of it.
What it does is emphasize that strategic football and situational football is not just played on the offensive side, is it? Defense understanding, as you noted, where the first down marker was and making sure they didn't get there. I like the look that they just showed there. When you come out in a passing formation, spread things out a little bit, makes it really hard to cover the middle of the field, doesn't it? Because you got to go out to the perimeter and cover those guys.
Yep, exactly. Got some good blocking, too. Helped him pick up the first. We remind you, as we've done all year, that coming up at halftime, we will visit with Jonathan Coachman, standing by in Orlando. He'll let you know what's going on here on a very eventful divisional round weekend. On first down, they look downfield, and it's complete. And he just falls short down at the 1-yard line. A huge play there for Arizona. 65 yards. Here's first and goal, and gosh, points here, a chance maybe to put this thing away before halftime. They'll try and pound it in with Drake. And he is in for 6. Touchdown, Cardinals. Punching it in from a yard away. And the Cardinals now adding on to their lead. Nice job of polishing off that drive, but all the credit there goes to that play prior.
Yeah, it certainly does, because after that big play, I think resistance almost felt futile at that point, didn't it? And the very next play, they come right back, quick, fast, and in a hurry, and put it in the end zone.
Cardinals 25.
And, of course, on the two-point try, had the option to run or pass. They pass it there, and it works.
Felt pretty straightforward, didn't it? An open points for them.
And he'll get it up past the 20 to about the 22.
The Seahawks take over first and 10 at their own 22-yard line.
Seattle again getting ready to take over offensively. And in a spot like this, still more than a minute, I think if you put something on the board before halftime, that would go a long way towards helping them get back into the game.
There actually is something to the psychology of the game at times, isn't there? How much better would they feel running into the locker room, as you noted, with something on the board in a positive fashion? You're exactly right. It's a great opportunity to get that done.
2nd and 10 now. Wilson. He finds Dorsett. It's complete. Now the Seahawks going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with a tick under a minute to go before half. To throw is Wilson on 3rd down. And that's knocked away and incomplete. The passing game not in sync here early. And now it's 4th down. Problems on 3rd down so far in this first half. Relatively small sample size, but they're now 0 for 3.
And the average in the league, somewhere around 40% on 3rd down for offenses. So what's the answer to this? Either convert them or don't get to 3rd down in the first place. Get your big chunks of yards on 1st and 2nd down.
On play action, it's Murray. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete.
So much of this game is about leverage. We always talk about low man wins in the trenches. Well, it's like that in just about every position. And sometimes, if you lose that leverage and you're losing the battle, just jump up at the line of scrimmage and try and bat the ball away. And that's exactly what happened there.
That'll leave them with a 3rd and 2 coming up. They got 8 yards there.
Okay, he didn't break that one all the way, but you got to know that he feels like he's right on the verge, and that's probably exactly what he's telling them in the huddle right now.
It'll be a nickel look here for the Seahawks on 3rd down. Off the play fake. Murray. And he gets this one inside the 15, just a yard or two shy of the 10. And with just 1 second remaining in the first half, they'll call the timeout.
First down, Cardinals.
So with 1 second left in the half, on is the field goal unit.
48-yard attempt.
Gonzalez's kick is good, and that will do it for this first half. So we've come upon halftime here in this NFC divisional round matchup. As we'll send you back over to Orlando with our EA Sports halftime report, here's Jonathan Coachman.
Okay, Brandon, thanks very much. Welcome in, everyone, to our EA Sports halftime report. Let's get you caught up on what's going on around the NFL. But first, let's take a look back to Saturday's NFC divisional round game. And it was the Green Bay Packers who will continue on in these playoffs as they were able to eliminate the Carolina Panthers. Meanwhile, in our game, we're set up for a terrific second half. So to find out who will advance to the NFC title game, let's send it back.
A trip to the NFC title game hanging in the balance. Second half action back underway. Taken about 7 yards deep. And he'll be dropped at the 21-yard line, so bringing it out of the end zone proves not a good decision, loses him about 4 yards. So here's the Cardinals offense now as they get set to start this third quarter. And you know, both of us gave these guys a real shot coming in here, but I don't think anyone saw this on the road with this lead in the playoffs. They've looked good a lot of times this year. This is probably as good as they've looked.
Well, it's been a textbook game for them because what you talk about as a visiting team is putting the pressure on the home team. And what puts more pressure on a home team than to be behind the entire game? Because the home crowd's there really for a coronation. They expect to win. And when you're behind, it takes the crowd out of the game. And when the crowd gets a little bit uncomfortable, maybe a little bit frustrated with the home team, and that gives you an extra advantage. So they've done it perfectly. Big lead, put everything back on the home team, and they're capitalizing on it.
Right now, that crowd, silent. And he'll go down at the 26, following a gain of 6. Now on third down, a nickel formation here defensively.
Mike's 50, Mike's 50.
Off play action, Murray. Then he's got the completion to Hopkins. And he'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds.
With the kind of game he's had so far, you had to know that on third down that they would be looking his way, and they did, for big yardage and a first down. I think the defense fell asleep at the switch on that one. I would have doubled him, tripled him, anything to keep the ball out of his hands.
And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. First catch for him in these playoffs. He was held without one last week, but he's got a first down on that effort. Whatever the discussions were at halftime to try to slow down this offense, it has not worked to this point.
Yeah, I have a vision right now of everything that was discussed at the half just being torn in shreds or being erased off of the Microsoft Surface tablets because none of it is working. They are really locked in on offense.
And a scary incompletion, almost picked off. It would have been their first INT of the game. Instead, second down. Murray again, this is Drake. And he'll take this one down to the 36. They do get a couple, but they'll be left staring at a 3rd and 8 coming up.
They know that old expression, it's not my night. It hasn't been his so far. I don't know if the legs are a little bit heavy. Sometimes having to hang out all day and play doesn't exactly play to your advantage, but it's been a tough go for him.
And every time he looks up, somebody's there defensively. That was the same case on that play.
It's a gain of
Cardinal first down, Murray to Hopkins. Off the play fake, Murray. That's going to be caught. And he'll take this one in for the Arizona touchdown. DeAndre Hopkins, his second touchdown of the night. And the Cards continue to pour it on. The Cardinal offense not going anywhere. They'll stay out and go for 2. And this is going to be caught. Well, not sure about the need to go for 2, but they get it and extend this lead out even further.
But I guess when you're hot, you're hot. I mean, I would just go ahead and take the extra point and move on, but apparently they've got something to prove. Almost feels like something was said this week, and they wanted to make sure that they laid it on them in this game.
Now after the touchdown, here's Gonzalez on to kick it away. Returnable for Dorsett. And up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25.
Seahawks take over first and 10 at their own 26-yard line.
Here's the Seattle offense ready to get this drive underway. And last drive, 3 and out. Still a goose egg on the scoreboard. How do they break that goose egg?
They've got to find a way to get the ball in the hands of their playmakers, get them some space, and try and make a first down and get some momentum going. It's been a struggle for them throughout the game, and that 3 and out on the last possession, that told you just how stalled they are on offense.
So who will step up here? We'll see. Now Wilson on first down. Here's Carson with a catch out of the backfield. And they're able to work this to the 25 before it's all said and done. Boy, a pair of big plays here. This one going for 29.
Not only have they completed a couple on this drive, but they peeled off some pretty good chunks of yardage, too.
Absolutely. Great start. 2 nice plays in the pass game. Now can they continue to feed off that? They'll run on first down. Carson, they get him to the ground right on the cusp of the red zone after a pickup of 5 or 6.
Brought down at the 20-yard line.
That play wasn't quite as big as the play that preceded it, but still, gotta like the way they're moving the football, partner.
Absolutely. Pretty good room to run on that last play.
Yeah, they didn't get a first down, but still, you'll take runs like that each and every time, won't you?
And now a throw here secured by his running back out of the backfield. And they'll bring him down at the 13-yard line.
Well, they certainly had success throughout this contest getting him the ball in the passing game, and there he picks up another first down. Whatever they saw going into this one, they've been able to capitalize on it, and no adjustment has been made to take it away.
And he's got it. Touchdown. Tyler Lockett there to make the grab. Now the Seahawks are able to get a score back. Well, after their wild card round game last week, you and I said, wow, they played pretty well. Maybe they got a shot at keeping this one close. They've done more than keep this one close.
Yeah, they've made quite a statement, haven't they? And I don't know if it was the week off that hurt this defense, but they've been flat from the get-go. And that's always a coach's fear. Okay, you earn the open week, but you wonder how they'll respond with that extra time off.
And it seems like they've been running uphill all game.
Andy Isabella on the return. The Cardinals take over first and 10.
Arizona getting ready to go as they take the field. Still well in control of this ball game despite giving up that touchdown a moment ago. Murray now on first down. And that'll be incomplete. We do have a penalty flag down, however. Let's see what that's about. In the pocket, chucked it away, flag comes down.
So you got to move a little bit, right? Know where you are on the field, have some awareness. Tackle to tackle. You got to get outside of that tackle box in order to get that done.
Pressure comes, he's taken down by the Seahawk defense. Henry Anderson, his second sack of the night.
And that's his second sack of the game, but this player, disruptive in all phases, whether he's going upfield, coming underneath, you name it. He's a big-time guy you have to block.
Well, that last sack puts Murray and the Cards in a tough spot, 3rd and long.
Let's go, team. It's going to be a long day.
Finding room at the 30. And down to the 19-yard line. It's a big play on 3rd down for the Cardinals. 66 yards. So they dig a little deeper in the playbook there, get the wide receiver the ball, running it, and it proves fruitful.
Love the call. When you got a guy who has running back skills, you want him to touch the ball as well, not just out wide where you throw it to him. Make sure you hand it to him or toss it to him and let him go to work.
Flushed out right. To the goal line, but it's incomplete. Shaquille Griffin knocking it away that time in coverage.
That was an interesting look there because as soon as he got outside the pocket, I thought he was going to take off and run for yardage. But what often happens now with these quarterbacks who can move, defenses want to try and keep bodies in front of them, and I think that discouraged him from taking off.
and made him try a pass downfield that fell incomplete.
4 yards the gain, and it'll bring up a 3rd down.
I think it's okay there. They didn't get a whole lot on that play, but it's nice to have a safety valve that's built like this guy. Big target, guy you can spot pretty easily. Put it on him when your other targets aren't open.
On 3rd down, Drake. And he'll go down, and that will do it for the 3rd quarter of action. 1 quarter remains for a trip to the NFC title game. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. On 1st and goal, Drake. And the Cardinals are going to have it 1st and goal as he'll take this down to about the 3.
Shaquille Griffin on the tackle. A 4-yard gain. Brings up.
So the ball position now at the 3. Here's 2nd and goal. Counter play, Drake. And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Arizona. Kenyon Drake with his 2nd touchdown of the night. And the Cardinals add on. As that lead just swells and swells. Look, this has been dominance in all 3 phases, offense, defense, and special teams.
So don't we have to give a lot of credit, not just to what we've seen today, but the preparation in advance, coaching staff, commitment by the players to the game plan, and being ready to go in this one? You're exactly right. Clean sweep. And, boy, they're going to celebrate this one after it's over.
And on the other side, this is the game film you just flush and never go back and review.
I think this is just going to be a function of the times we live in now. Very similar to the bat flip in baseball. Everyone's got to start to get comfortable with this. But to me, this is just rubbing it in. You got a big lead. Go ahead and take the extra point. One thing to keep in mind, though, karma's still out there. And sometimes it has a way of catching up with you.
At their own 25-yard line.
Out comes this offensive unit as they get set to take over here. And several days ago, you and I talked with a couple of guys in the meetings about how big is home field advantage. And they kind of downplayed it a bit, but I think we're seeing here today, building up this lead, looks like they're going to win. Why home field advantage in the divisional round so important?
Yeah, they may have downplayed it, but we could also sense that it was important to them because nothing has to change. You don't have to uproot anything. Sometimes when you're going on the road, you may have to even leave earlier in order to get acclimated if it's going to be a tough environment against the team you're going to play. So being at home is a big deal, but now they know, at least they feel like it, they're moving on to the championship round. There's got to be no better feeling. They'll get that 24-hour rule in. Enjoy that before they look forward to the next opponent.
The Seahawks on 3rd down, 0 for 3 to this point. They could use a conversion. This is going to be 3rd and 13. That's into the hands of his tight end, Will Dissly. And he'll be brought down at the 28, and that is well short of the 1st. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They're tackling them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
They'll net only 35 here following a 43-yard boot, 8-yard return. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. The football going back over to Arizona now. They have all but booked their ticket to the NFC Championship game next weekend, and they'll look to finish things off here now in this 4th quarter. Historically, this is such a tough, loud venue, but you can hear a pin drop right now. A lot of fans long gone, not used to seeing a lopsided score like this. Throwing here to start the drive as they connect left side. And able to rip off a big chunk of yardage before being dropped inside the 40. A very solid gain of 27. So from Seahawk territory now, it's 1st and 10 at the 38. Eluding the pressure right. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. He's got the 1st down. Boy, he was dynamite in the wild card game last week. He hasn't disappointed in this game either. And looking to put this game on ice in the 4th quarter, but still not afraid to throw it as they show there.
You want to play the game with confidence, and they have a guy who's in control right now. Their trigger guy throwing it.
And Hopkins has got it. Touchdown, Arizona.
DeAndre Hopkins.
DeAndre Hopkins saving his best for the playoffs with his 3rd touchdown of the game as his guys continue to put this one out of reach. They seemingly just continue to score at will, and as great as it's been for the offense, you got to feel for that defense down there.
I love how you use the word will, because both teams came into the game with the will to win, but one team has obviously imposed its will on the other and broken them, because what we're seeing right now, wow, that's a defense that's in tatters after what they faced in this ball game.
The Cardinal offense not going anywhere. They'll stay out and go for 2. Now Murray again. And this is going to be caught. So add 2 more to the lead as they continue to pour it on here in the 4th.
Seahawks 7.
Personally, I'd rather see him kick the extra point there than to go for 2, but it almost feels like there's a story within the story here. I mean, this isn't college. You know, size of victory, that matters in those games. Here, all you have to do is win by 1 point. That's all that you need. Instead, they go for it, get 2. You got some pretty ticked off folks on the other sideline now.
They'll throw on first down with Wilson. This one into the hands of Metcalf. And he'll be brought down, it looks like right at the 40. They'll contain him to just 4. 2nd down.
The pickup. 2nd and 6 at the 40-yard line.
Out of the gun, here's Wilson. He's got his man on the crossing route. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. 22 yards there, a first down.
1st and 10 at the 18-yard line.
On the delay, here's Carson. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. No gain on the play there, 2nd down.
No gain.
This run defense has been pretty stout all game long. Now you're here in the 4th quarter. To rely more on the passing attack?
I don't think you have any choice, and I don't think you have to dress it up at all either. Throughout the first 3 quarters, you're still trying to convince the defense that you may run the football. That's out the window right now. Protect, let your quarterback operate, and try and find some targets in the open field downfield.
And he'll go down here at the 12-yard line. So it's Seahawk football as we march toward a conclusion. They face a 3rd down now as they try to find a late score. And it'll be intercepted. Run it well, and it's picked. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. Yet another mistake after the interception there. And, guys, you look up at the scoreboard. They just got to be thinking this one cannot get over fast enough.
It certainly can't. And also what happens when you get this big of a deficit, you're supposed to make all the right throws, right? You're supposed to try and obviously get the ball to your own guys. But being down this big, you also take even more chances. And in this situation, that hasn't paid off for them at all.
On the other sideline, jubilation and laughter. A nice little juke. And he's going to get 7 out of this before being taken down at the 27.
Well, this play sequence was really kind of called in reverse. Incomplete pass on 1st and 10. Nice run on 2nd and 10 when probably everyone was expecting him to throw the football. Now, if you're the defense, what are they going to do on 3rd down? You're a little off balance.
And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
How about some applause for the defense there? They forced him to throw that one into coverage, and just like that, they're staring at a 4th down. Well done.
And with things looking pretty good on the scoreboard, they're going to keep the offense out there and go for it here on 4th. On the slant, complete to Hopkins. And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35. He's got the first down. Boy, he was dynamite in the wild card game last week. He hasn't disappointed in this game either. Murray going to run play action with Drake and look to throw it. Escaping the pressure right. He'll air this one out for Kirk. Into double coverage, and it's intercepted. Picked up by Jamal Adams.
Murray's pass. Intercepted.
Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. It certainly has not been the outing that they envisioned on their home turf in the divisional round of the playoffs, and they have been pushed around, and now their backs against the wall. A pass underneath for Carson. And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8. 2nd and 2.
To Chris Carson. 8 yards on the pickup. Brings up 2nd and 2 at the 19-yard line.
Second and 2.
Tonight's final score.
And they have secured a spot in the conference championship, and now you can start to smell it at this point in the season, can't you?
You really can, because the focus has been one game at a time, not looking ahead. But when you get to the conference championship game and you know you're there, the Super Bowl does loom in the future.
So that'll do it for us. For Charles Davis and all our crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on